Of Empire State Development, Hope Knight. Principal, Janus Property Company, Jerry Salama. Lieutenant Governor, Brian Benjamin. And please join me in welcoming the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Good morning. Great morning. Thank you. I'm Jerry Salama. I'm your host from the Janus Property Company, and together with my partner Scott Metzner, we are thrilled to welcome you to the celebration of the Tasty Lab building with the Governor and so many other leaders that you'll be introduced to this morning. My role is to be very brief. I want to welcome you, and I want to give thanks. Thanks to you, our neighbors and community members, for joining us, and for the incredible support and love that it means to be part of Harlem. The Governor and ESD President Hope Knight will introduce our distinguished officials who came to celebrate with us. I want to personally thank the hundreds of elected officials, community leaders, financial partners, architects, engineers, consultants, and talented tradespeople who made this dream a reality. I see you all, and I thank you all. We look forward to the next step of companies, life science specialists, nonprofits, and restaurants moving into this gorgeous new building with all their jobs. Today, we focus on the state of New York to thank the Regional Economic Development Council for an early and important grant that jump-started this project. This allowed us to create Tasty as a purpose-built life science center that is all the more critical for health research and medical inventions, as we have all learned over the last 2 years. In the world of life sciences, there's often the discussion of an ecosystem. Welcome to our ecosystem. Out of every window in this building, we have talent and brains and creativity. From one window, we have City College. Out of the other window, we have Columbia University. And on every street all around us, we have the energy and the charm and the arts and culture of world-renowned Harlem. And we've tied it all together into the Manhattanville Factory District, which is a campus connected with landscaped open areas open to everybody. We're always happy to come together and celebrate milestones in the district. In our groundbreaking ceremony for this building a short while ago, we were graced by wonderful public servants. They included then Lieutenant Governor Hochul, who is now a governor, then State Senator Brian Benjamin, now our Lieutenant Governor, then Council Member Mark Levine, now our Borough President, and then Congressional Assistant Sean Abreu, now a Council Member. So it's clear that Tasty Lab building is a good luck charm for our public servants. At the next Tasty event, we look forward to welcoming all of you back in even higher offices. But right now, let me introduce our wonderful governor. Kathy Hochul has had an illustrious career in public service, starting from her local town board to the Erie County clerk, to a member of Congress, to lieutenant governor. For 6 years as lieutenant governor, she led the administration's economic development and job creation efforts across the state. And that's why we're so grateful to her today. She's had the foresight and the courage to champion projects like Tasty, while taking on larger challenges and confronting the pandemic head-on. And she's presented a bold vision for economic recovery in the state with historic levels of investments with a focus on building back better and more inclusively. The governor was born and raised in Buffalo, but she's always welcome in Harlem. I give you Governor Hochul.
Good morning, Harlem. Good morning. Oh, yes, I feel the energy, and how sweet it is to be at the site of a former bakery. This is, Jerry, first of all, yes, I remember the ribbon cutting, or I'm sorry, the groundbreaking. among the 55,000 I did, I think, in the 6 years, and it was great. And I had a chance to hang out with the young, energetic superstar of Harlem, the brand new Senator Brian Benjamin at the time, and the other leaders you mentioned, Mark Levine and people who were here. I'm sure Gail Brewer was there as Borough President. I guarantee Gail was there because Gail is everywhere, and if you ever talked to Gail's husband, he would say the only difference between my wife Gail and God is that God is everywhere. Gail is everywhere but home. So she's been incredible. I've so enjoyed working with her. And to Jerry, thank you for being the visionary that this community needed. It was about 12 years ago when the opportunity came for bids from Empire State Development. And a lot of people applied and had different ideas about housing, et cetera. But you and your partners at Janus had a different dream for this community. And you wanted to hearken back to the legacy of entrepreneurship and small businesses and the whole culture that had been part of this community, Manhattanville, for such a long, long time. And because of that vision, you said, you know, this is a place that had a great past in factories and in building and innovation. You wanted to build the factories of the future right here, and that is what life sciences are. We're building the building blocks of innovation and jobs and creation right here. So Jerry, to you and your partners at Janus, I want to thank you for just having the guts and the tenacity to say that this community deserves better than staring at an abandoned bakery, once the site of jobs and opportunity for people that was really mocking this neighborhood since the 70s. It became run down. It was just a visual reminder of the glory days of the past. And that's why today is so significant. This is not 100 years ago at a time when this was a bustling neighborhood, but also a time 100 years ago when they were just emerging from a pandemic as well. Think about that. And we have an opportunity here to leave a mark on places like Harlem and other parts of our city and our state in this post-pandemic world. And that's why this is such an exciting time for all of us. So I want to thank you for being one of the leaders, the people who before had a vision for this area that is being realized literally as we're coming through the final, hopefully, weeks of this pandemic. So Jerry, to you and your partners, I say thank you. Hope Knight, our president and CEO of Empire Development, another Harlem native, is that correct there? Yeah, I got lieutenant governor, my head of Empire. Please don't tell everybody else. It's a lot of focus on this community because this is an energetic place. We all know that. And I also want to acknowledge some of our other elected officials. I mentioned Gail Brewer is here. I think Inez Deckens is here. I don't have my glass. Inez? No, okay. I'm sure she's on her way. And Cordell Clear is here, our new senator. Mark Levine, I believe, is on his way as well. Must be a lot of traffic out there today, right? Oh, Mark's here, okay. Hey, and I came down from Albany in less time it takes you to go a few blocks there, but I just want to say, I was up at the crack of dawn, so I would not be late for this event, but that's all right. I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm not judging. And Felix Montos Rodriguez, our CUNY chancellor. I mean, what an honor it is to have you here. And you and I are going to be continuing our collaboration to make sure that there are jobs and skills being taught for all of our young people so they can leave walking the streets of this neighborhood and actually come in here and be part of this ecosystem that was described. 440 people will be able to find a new future right here. So thank you. And Kathy Wild, our president and CEO of the Partnership for New York City. I mean, she is at every single significant event because the partnership has been driving this. And I want to thank her for her work on the Regional Economic Development Council with me for these many, many years. And I also see a former member of the Assembly, Keith Wright, is here. Thank you, Keith, for joining us. So yes, it was 2 years ago. It was a lovely May Day. And we gathered outside, and I remember reflecting on what this really meant to this neighborhood. And I spoke about it just briefly, but I want to go a little bit deeper. I wanted this building, this site, to be a place where children who grew up here, who did not think they had a better future, to imagine themselves being inside here. What it would be like if I somehow could be part of that that dynamic place where people are innovating and coming up with cures for the next pandemic and talking about how we can think about life sciences in a way that creates an economy, yes, of course, creates good jobs, but also, as we saw during this pandemic, how much we rely on the brilliance of doctors and researchers and scientists coming together to help us get through a pandemic that took down so many of our friends and neighbors. That is the importance of the work that'll go on here. And I want every child born in Harlem and our neighboring communities to see this building as a place of opportunity for them. That's what this is about. This is not about the adults in this room today. This is about the next generation of kids who are going to walk by. Their mom's going to push them by in a stroller, and they're going to see this when they're in kindergarten. They're going to see this when they're in high school, and say, I want to be part of that. That's what excites me about projects like these that I want to have all over the state of New York, in neighborhoods like this that are so beautifully diverse and have a sense of history and culture and a very cool vibe. I want people to know that you do not leave this neighborhood. You leave your talents here. Bring your talents and your optimism and that sense of confidence and the swagger we have when you grow up in a place as cool as Harlem. I want that to be harnessed in buildings like this and in this community. So I'm going to continue our state investments in this. And this is an 11-story, 350,000 square foot, $700 million, that wasn't all state dollars, $700 million LEED certified building specifically to support the growth of the life sciences sector. And I was proud that we invested $10 million from our Regional Economic Development Council from the very beginning. And we're going to be manufacturing and coming up with ideas and commercializing, as well as embedding the educational users right here. And we have tremendous, tremendous possibility here with the people we're working with. And I want to mention, Columbia University, the business school, the science center, the med school, all right here, part of this system. New York Structural Biology Center, the City College of New York and CUNY Center for Discovery and Innovation, and our Advanced Science Research Center. It's all happening right here. I mean, this is incredible. You think about every one of these powerful institutions all coming together right here. That is another unique facet of this, and it's happening here as a model for other communities and other parts of our state, and that is what is so special about this. And we're going to continue being laser focused on creating the STEM jobs, the opportunities, the education, starting at the youngest age. And there's programs like Girls Who Code, where I see that program. I've been to more graduations. I still don't understand what they're doing, but they look really smart when they're all done with their training. And that is what I think is so special about this, that little girls growing up here can someday perhaps walk through here wearing a lab coat and a name tag and being part of a system that is solving the future challenges in healthcare. That's what this is all about. So no student in the state of New York should miss out on these opportunities, and they're certainly not going to miss out on it when we see this here. So we're going to continue focusing on workforce development, the training, working with our educational partners, working with our private sector partners, and my friends, the future is unfolding right here before our eyes, and you're going to look back many years from now and say, yep, my grandparents, someone's grandparents had to live through this building when it was vacant and it was abandoned. It was mocking this neighborhood for far too long. Fast forward to the future. The children born here today are going to assume that this place has always been so vibrant, and everyone here made this happen. Thank you for giving this community hope, and I thank you for being part of this.
Please welcome to the podium Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin.
My friends, it's an honor to serve with Governor Kathy Hochul, the first female governor of the state of New York who is working so hard. I used to think I worked hard. I have nothing on Governor Kathy Hochul. Oh my God, thank you so much for your leadership, Governor. And to my friends in Harlem, West Harlem, I just want to say today is a great day. I remember 12 years ago, and I remember Scott Metzger and Jerry Salama, we had a meeting, and we talked about your vision for this site. And I was one of those skeptics. I thought, how are you going to do a project of that scale and magnitude without housing, without affordable housing, which, by the way, is a need we have in our community? How are you going to do that? And they said, we're going to do it. we're going to make it happen. We don't care if the banks say no. We don't care who says no. We're going to keep plugging away until we get to yes. And those yeses have accumulated, and now we are here today. I want to say congratulations to the Janus Properties Company for having vision. You know, a lot of people have sight. Not many have vision. You showed vision at a time when Harlem needed it. Because here's the bottom line. You know, it's easy for us to all be here today. It was another thing 12 years ago when you had to figure out that you're putting your financial capital on the line on a vision that many people didn't think was really possible. That's real leadership. But it wasn't done alone. We had our now county leader and assembly member, Keith L.T. Wright, who was fighting for this project. We now have our new senator, Cordell Clear, who was always championing projects like this. Manhattan Borough President Gail Brewer, I don't even know how, I'm sorry, now City Council Member Gail Brewer, who has always fought for this community. And I see Ken Knuckles from the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone, who worked on investing in projects like this. And in Hope Knight, our new chair of ESD, used to be the COO of the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone under Ken Knuckles. And I see also our good friend Blair Duncan, who is now running UMass, Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone, and Curtis Archer from HCDC. These are people who have been investing in this community and have helped us to get here. And so I won't be long. You know, the state did give her early $10 million through the Regional Economic Development Council. I think it's important to say that because that wasn't an easy $10 million to give. And at the time, our then Lieutenant Governor, Jesus, I'm getting confused, our then Lieutenant Governor fought hard to get that $10 million for West Harlem and for Harlem and for this vision. And as the governor said, there are going to be young people who are going to walk by this site in a few years and not know that there was a time when people believed that this was not possible right here at the place they call home. And that, to me, is something to celebrate. And so I'm honored to be here at this ribbon cutting. I was honored to be at the groundbreaking, and I was honored to be at everything else you've had. Because this is the vision. This is the future. And here's the beautiful thing. Now at this site, there will be now derivatives. There'll be spin-offs. There'll be other companies who will say, oh, we can come to Harlem because of this building, because the life sciences are here. It's not complicated. Banks will say, oh, we can finance that because we saw what happened with the Janus property site. That is beautiful. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for believing in Harlem, and we will continue to make this the greatest neighborhood on the face of the earth. Thank you very much.
Please welcome to the podium, Hope Knight.
Good morning. Before I get started, I want to give some special acknowledgments. First, I want to mention Scott Metzner, Janus Property Company. This is a career full circle for me. I remember early 2000s talking with Scott and Jerry about their plans for this building and what's happened here, so fantastic. I also want to mention a couple of friends and partners, members of Community Board 9, members of the New York Economic Development Council, New York City EDC Senior Vice President of Life Sciences and Healthcare, Susan Rosenthal, Vincent Boudreau, President of City College, Jessica Walker, President and CEO of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, and Kenya Abreu, President of New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. It's great to be here in Harlem. Before I had the extraordinary honor of being asked by Governor Hochul to serve as President and CEO of ESD, I spent some time around these parts. And for over a decade, as was said, I was Chief Operating Officer of the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone, an organization focused on local economic revitalization. One of the projects I was involved in during my time at UMass was the creation of the Manhattanville Factory District. Today, that dream is becoming a reality. Over a century ago, Manhattanville was a bustling industrial area. From breweries to bakeries and even the birthplace of Dentine gum, this area was teeming with ideas and invention. The production done here provided residents with jobs and helped fuel the regional economy. Well, what's past is prologue. Under Governor Hochul's leadership, Harlem is once again becoming a leader in innovation and creation. And this magnificent state-of-the-art facility is a great example. The Tasty Lab building will house small businesses, local entrepreneurs, cutting-edge technology, advertising, media and information companies, nonprofits, academic, and most importantly, life sciences tenants. It will be a source of jobs and vibrancy for West Harlem. I want to thank Jerry and Scott and their team at Janus, and the New York City Regional Development Council, and our local partners. Jerry and Scott have worked with the local community and the business community on a custom-built facility that honors the building's history, respects the surrounding neighborhood, and positions it to serve as the economy of tomorrow. COVID-19 showed us the importance of life sciences. It's increasingly critical to the New York's economy. Under Governor Hochul, we are investing in New York's unparalleled academic research assets and ensuring that homegrown startups thrive here. We are also investing in Harlem, from the Apollo and Victoria Theater, the Studio Museum, and to the new National Urban League Empowerment Center on 125th Street. Harlem continues to rise, and ESG is proud to be a part of this. Congratulations to everyone that was involved in this effort. Thank you.
Please welcome to the podium Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine.
I'm still processing the fact that our governor got up at 4:30 this morning to beat us all here. Very, very impressive. In my defense, I had an alibi. I was being interviewed by Bryant Lair. There's a tape. This is really a meaningful moment for me, especially because of how well I know Jerry and Scott. And I don't know if all of you do, so I want to explain to you the kind of relationship they have built in this community, which is, it's really extraordinary and should serve as a model. They have spent a decade and a half on the ground building relationships in this community, building partnerships with the community board and beyond in the neighborhood, building trust, and giving back in many, many ways. They are one of the most generous supporters of tenants' rights activism in West Harlem. And the result has been that they and this project have really been embraced since the vision stage and now through the completion of this incredible building. Their vision to not see the historic legacy as a burden but an asset, they've really made it one of the defining features of this project. Their vision to ensure that the future in life sciences is not just the Upper East Side. Now, I represent the whole borough now, so I love the Upper East Side. Please put that on the record. But it is simply not fair that kids in this neighborhood have not had direct access to those jobs in their home neighborhood. There's no lack of talent in West Harlem, in Northern Manhattan. There is a lack of opportunity, and we need to change that. And we're doing that here today. And what you see right now, those buildings, new buildings coming over the horizon, over the building line there, that's the new medical school, City College. You can see out the back there a $1 billion neuroscience building, the Jerome L. Green Science Center. We have the potential to create a corridor here that we can have exchange of ideas and synergy here uptown between all these businesses. But completing this building was really the linchpin to that. It has been an absolutely Herculean effort that Scott and Jerry have pulled off here. Governor, don't feel bad that the state only put $10 million in. That's $10 million more than the city. So you all deserve enormous credit, and Hope Knight and ESD deserve enormous credit, but the tenacity of the leadership at Janus, which could have quit at any point, at 100 points, in this very difficult, complicated project, and didn't, so that we can be here today. And finally, because I'm standing between us and the ribbon cutting, if there are any potential tenants in the room, right now or watching us online, you want to be here. You want to be in this building, on this street, in this neighborhood, in this emerging life sciences corridor, in a community that has embraced this vision, that wants to work here. So come on down and sign a lease, please. And now, I think we can cut a ribbon. Is that right? Or do we have one more speaker? We're cutting a ribbon. Everybody come on up.
During the ribbon cutting photos, please remain seated.